What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a look at the Monk class in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which is currently in beta. The Monk class is like an unarmed fighter, that kind of thing. They don't have to be. Some of their archetypes take it in a different direction. However, the gist of it, in my opinion, is kind of leaning into that unarmed fighter aspect of things. With that out of the way, let's get into what being a monk consists of. So first things first, you are required to have a lawful alignment to play a monk, or at least to make one, I should say. Let's talk base class. So for our class skills, we are going to pick up mobility, athletics, persuasion, lore religion, knowledge world, perception, and stealth. Now for proficiencies, we will be proficient with club, crossbows, light or heavy, dagger, hand axe, javelin, nunchaku, quarterstaff, sai, short sword, short spear, shuriken, not even going to try to pronounce that, sling, spear, and any weapon with the monk special weapon quality. However, you're not proficient with any armor or shields. When you wear armor, use a shield, carry more than a light load, you will lose your AC bonus as well as your fast movement and flurry of blows. So what is this AC bonus? First thing, and then we'll get into fast movement and flurry of blows here in just a minute. For our AC bonus, when we are unarmored and unencumbered, a monk will add their wisdom bonus, if any, to their AC as well as their combat maneuver defense. In addition, you will gain +1 to AC and combat maneuver defense at 4th level, and then every 4 levels after that it will continue to increase by 1. The bonuses apply even against touch attacks when you're caught flat-footed. However, you will lose them if you are immobilized, helpless, wearing any armor, wearing a shield, as I mentioned earlier. Despite not being proficient in armor, you get a pretty solid bonus to your AC through your wisdom modifier. At 1st level, a monk will also pick up improved unarmed strike as a bonus feat, and the damage dealt by your average monk of regular size will be 1d6 at levels 1 through 3, but then will increase as you level up to 1d8 through levels 4 to 7, 1d10 at levels 8 through 11, etc. Now that's important because our monk is going to potentially be dealing quite a bit of unarmed damage. Now before we get into the unarmed bits, real quick, monks at 1st, 2nd, and every 4 levels after that will be able to select a bonus feat. However, they have to be taken from a specific list. However, as you level up, that list does grow. These are primarily things that will help them with their unarmed combat or specific to your archetype in some cases, so this list can change a little bit. Speaking of the flurry of blows earlier, at 1st level, a monk will be able to make a flurry of blows as a full attack. When making this flurry of blows, the monk will be able to make 1 additional attack at their highest base attack bonus. This attack will stack with other bonus attacks from haste or similar effects. When you use this ability, you can make these attacks with any combination of unarmed strike or weapons that you have that have the monk special weapon quality. You won't take a penalty for using multiple weapons when using this, but you don't gain any additional attacks for doing that, outside of regular additional attacks from simply having a higher base attack bonus, etc. Then at 11th level, this actually goes up 1 more additional attack. Now, at 1st level, getting into the unarmed stuff now, our base class monk will pick up Stunning Fist. Once per day for every 4 levels you have attained as a monk, and no more than once per round, you can make a stunning attack, a Stunning Fist attack, basically. So any foe damaged by your unarmed attack will have to make a Fortitude savings throw, or straight up just be stunned for a round. A stunned character will drop everything they've held, can't take actions, loses their dex bonus to AC, as well as takes a -2 penalty to their AC. Now there are a lot of enemies this can't affect, such as constructs, oozes, plants, undead, incorporeal creatures, and creatures immune to critical hits. So basically it just gives you a Stunning Fist attack. Now at level 4, we can pick up Stunning Fist Fatigue. So this is essentially the same as Stunning Fist, but instead of stunning them, it gives them fatigue instead. And then at 8th level, we pick up Stunning Fist Sicken. Same thing, instead of stunning, they become sickened if they fail their save. Now at 2nd level, and then at 9th level afterwards, our monk will pick up Evasion as well as Improved Evasion. So base evasion causes a successful reflex savings throw to, instead of having the damage, actually just completely avoiding it altogether. And then improved evasion makes even a failed save still only do half damage. Now, this is where I'm going to start talking about the key pool. So at 3rd level, monks will gain access to their key points. So this is supernatural energy they can use to accomplish feats, or essentially use key powers. The number of points you have is equal to half your monk level plus your wisdom modifier, and as long as you have at least 1 point in this pool, you can make the associated strike. 3rd level, this will allow your unarmed attacks to be treated as magic weapons for the purposes of overcoming damage reduction. At 7th level, they can be treated as cold iron or silver. At 10th level, they can be treated as lawful weapons. At 16th level, they can be treated as adamantine weapons, and by spending 1 point from this pool as a swift action, you can make 1 additional unarmed strike at its highest base attack bonus when making your flurry of blows attack. This will stack with the bonuses from flurry of blows. And then at level 4, we start picking up our key powers. So these are a variety of different things, really. But the long and short of it is that every few levels we can pick up a key power, and by spending points from our key pool, we can gain or use certain abilities. Now, there's a variety of these. A lot of them kind of function as like pseudo spells. For instance, Scorching Ray is essentially just the Scorching Ray spell, but, costs key instead. There's a decent amount of variety here. Nothing too crazy, though. There's not a ton of these by any means. They just let your monk use some versions of spells, essentially. And then we have Style Strike. So at 5th level, a monk will be able to learn a type of Style Strike, and then whenever you make your Flurry of Blows attack, you can designate one of your unarmed strikes as a Style Strike. This is basically a normal attack with an extra effect. Some of these effects are like, for instance, Shattering Punch, which will penetrate enemy defenses, essentially bypassing all damage reduction. There are things like Hammer Blow, which lets you roll your unarmed strike damage twice, adding both rolls together before applying strength and their modifiers to the damage. However, it's not multiplied on crits. There's Defensive Spin, which gives you a +4 dodge bonus to AC against any attacks made by the target of the Style Strike until its next turn. So stuff like that. Basically, it's a normal attack that gives you a little extra. At 9th level, and then every 4 levels after that, you can pick up an additional style. And then at 15th level, you can actually designate 2 of your unarmed strikes per round as a style strike as opposed to 1, and they can, of course, be different. Now, at level 3, we pick up Fast Movement, which gives us a +10 enhancement bonus to our base speed that we lose if we are carrying too big of a load or if we are wearing armor. Moreover, this improves every 3 levels after the 3rd level, giving us 10 more feet added to our fast movement. Now, 4th level, we pick up Still Mind. This gives us a +2 bonus on saving throws against enchantment spells and effects. At 5th level, we pick up Purity of Body. Gives us immunity to all diseases, including supernatural and magical diseases. And then at level 20, we gain Key Power Perfect Self. This makes our monk a magical creature, gives us damage reduction 10 against chaotic, which is, of course, pretty handy. So, with our base class out of the way, that brings us to the Scaled Fist. The biggest difference here is that our bonus feats, like I mentioned, have a different list with this particular archetype. But in addition to that, we get some extra stuff related to the study of dragons. So we get Draconic Heritage. This will allow us at 3rd level to select a dragon type. And then afterwards, you can spend 1 point from your pool as a swift action to imbue your natural attacks with the energy specific to that dragon, giving you an extra 1d6 of damage from the chosen energy type. And then at 12th level, you can spend 3 points from your pool to make a breath weapon attack as a standard action that will deal 1d6 points of damage of the energy type you have chosen per monk level in a 30-foot cone or 60-foot line. Those caught in the area can, of course, perform a reflex save. Then at 3rd level, they also pick up Draconic Metal, giving you a +2 bonus on saving throws against all fear, paralysis, and sleep effects. And that's pretty much it for the Scaled Fist. Now that brings us to the Sensei, which is a pretty interesting archetype, honestly. You're going to get less bonus feats with this. You are also going to lose your Flurry of Blows as well as Evasion. However, you're going to pick up what they call Sensei's advice. So this is essentially bardic performances. This is going to let you use things like Inspire Courage, Inspire Competence. And then we have Mystic Powers. Now this is probably the more interesting thing about the Sensei. So in addition to the 2 performances I mentioned earlier, this will let you use your advice ability, but on your key powers. So whenever you're activating a class ability as well as your advice ability, you can instead have that ability affect an ally within 30 feet rather than the Sensei. And then at 10th level, you can make this affect everyone within 30 feet of you rather than the Sensei. You can turn your class powers into like a party-wide thing at the cost of your key pool, which is pretty cool, but again, you do lose Flurry of Blows, Evasion, as well as some of your bonus feats. So that brings us to the Sohei, I guess is how you pronounce that. The Sohei is interesting because it's like a mounted variant of the monk. First up, they're going to gain Lore Nature as a class skill. Moreover, they're going to pick up a mount, like I mentioned. They're going to get a horse at first level, and you can spend your key points to grant your mount temporary hit points equal to twice your level for 1 hour per level, making your mount a little stronger. Then at first level, they also pick up Devoted Guardian. This is going to give you a bonus to initiative rolls equal to half your monk level. And then at 20th level, the initiative roll is automatically a natural 20. And again, starting at level 1, for your bonus feats, you can actually pick up mounted combat feats. At 6th level, they start picking up weapon training. This is essentially the fighter class feature, but for monks, and it applies to your monk weapons. And every 6 levels after level 6, so 12 and 18, you'll be able to select an additional group of weapons. And, most interestingly, and probably the most useful of this will let you use your Flurry of Blows ability and Key Strike with any weapon that you have the weapon training in, because we are losing our unarmed bonuses for this archetype. This allows you to actually still deal some decent damage, and plus it would be kind of ridiculous to be an unarmed character on a mount. Also, at 4th level as a swift action, you can spend your pool points to grant any weapon you're wielding, including your unarmed strike if you wanted to, a +1 bonus on attack and damage rolls and all that, increasing by +1 per 4 levels after 4th to a maximum of +5 at level 20 until the end of your next turn. Now that brings us to the traditional monk. Now this one is basically the same as the base class, but instead of picking your key powers, they're chosen for you. They are specific ones that you have to use. And the trade-off for that seems to be picking up extra will defense, which seems not great to me personally, but there's the option for you, I guess, if you want. And the specific key powers they pick up are Wholeness of Body, Abundant Step, Diamond Body, Diamond Soul, and Quivering Palm. So that brings us to our last archetype, the Zen Archer. They swap most of their unarmed things that you would get with the base class for ranged buffs and feats. For their bonus feats, they're going to pick from the list of feats that affect ranged weapons primarily. In lieu of some of the unarmed stuff, they pick up Perfect Strike, which will let you roll your attack roll twice and take the higher result. You're also, of course, going to become proficient with longbows, shortbows, composite longbows, and composite shortbows in addition to your regular weapons. You can still use Flurry of Blows, actually, though, even though you're not unarmed. However, you can actually only use it when you're using your bow. You can't use it for your unarmed attacks or any other weapons. Moreover, you don't apply your strength bonus on damage rolls made with Flurry of Blows unless you're using a composite bow with the strength rating. Now at 2nd level, you get to pick a weapon focus as a bonus feat with one type of bow. And then at 6th level, you're going to gain weapon specialization with that type of bow as a bonus feat, even if you don't meet the prereqs. At 3rd level, they get to pick up Point Blank Master, even if they don't meet the prereqs. Moreover, at 3rd level, a Zen Archer can use their Wisdom modifier instead of their Dexterity modifier on ranged attack rolls when using a bow. And then at level 5, in lieu of style strikes, they get key arrows. This will make your arrows actually deal your unarmed damage instead of your bow damage. So in this example that the ability actually gives us, a short bow from a Zen Archer would normally deal 1d6 damage. However, with this, it'll deal 1 die 8 instead because it adds your unarmed damage. So I think the Zen Archer is really cool, actually, just because like if you want to be really good with a bow, a Zen Archer is probably the way to go. You might not be good at much else afterwards, and you don't get a lot of the bonuses from other classes, but if you want to be incredible at shooting a bow, a Zen Archer is very good at that. That is pretty much going to do it for the Monk class and its archetypes. So overall, honestly, I think this class is kind of boring. I can see why some people would like it, and I don't have anything against it per se. Like if you want to go unarmed, it's pretty much the way to go. However, me personally, not really up my alley. With that out of the way, truly, thank you guys just so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. The channel's growing every day, and I appreciate absolutely any support you guys give the channel. Truly, thank you. Hope the video helped you out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. Thanks again. May you wander in wisdom, and have an amazing day.